we've been building up to it. We've been priming the pump, and it is time to delve into this Britney news. Now, if you've literally been under a rock this past week, you have missed that Britney is in a
mental wellness
facility, which she initially said she was checking herself into just to get her head right because her father has been ill and this was the best thing for her at this time, blah, blah, blah. But then this week it came out that maybe none of that is true.
Yeah, so there is a podcast called, I believe, Britney Graham or Britney's Graham, something like that. Just Google hashtag Free Britney, and I'll get to that hashtag a little bit later, actually.
Yeah.
And they have a hotline where their listeners can call in, which is a good idea, actually.
That's a great idea.
We might be stealing.
I don't want to give out my number, though.
You can always do a Google Voice number.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Get a burner phone. And I guess it would be like they do shout-outs and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Well, then a paralegal that used to work for the firm overseeing Britney's conservatorship left a very disturbing voicemail saying that basically everything that we've been told up until this point has been augmented or completely not true. That she went off of her meds last fall, was threatened by her father and team regarding her getting back on the meds. She said she didn't like the way that she was feeling on the meds. They said, you need to get back on your meds. Got her to a different doctor, got her new meds. She didn't like those. Pretty much said, I don't like the way these are making me feel. And they said, well, you're getting on your meds. Otherwise, we're canceling your residency.
To which she was probably like, Sal.
Well, no, it seemed like she was actually really into...
No, that's right, yeah. She's been... The Vegas spot seems to be really...
Yeah.
Well, because she can stay in one area. She has her apartment there.
And she was... It all seemed very... I mean, it was very abrupt, but it all seemed very strange because she was just rehearsing the day before they pulled the plug. Like, she was posting rehearsal videos, and her team, like her creative team, not the lawyer team, excuse me, was posting all these really cool, like, never been done before lighting schemes that they were coming up for things and remixes that they were doing, and it all just came to a halt. And we were told it was due to her father's health, but according to this paralegal that had called in, they said that, nope, they did it to punish her, and they said, we're going to blame it on my illness. Her father was the one in charge of this whole situation, along with her manager, Larry Rudolph, and her lawyer, Lou Taylor.
So he is exaggerating his illness?
Yeah, basically, we're going to cancel it, and we're blaming it on my illness.
Oh my god.
So, yeah.
I thought he was the good guy in the story.
That's the thing.
Like, in the past, he's always been hailed as, again, if you have been living under a rock and you don't know anything about Britney, he's the one who has been the head of her conservatorship. Mm-hmm. He's the one that sort of stepped in and helped her, you know, maintain custody of her kids and sort of, you know, when she was kind of slipping off the rails, he pulled her back on track. But now it seems more like that track is a money train.
Yeah.
And he's less concerned about his daughter
and more about everyone getting paid continuously. Also, this paralegal said that Larry Rudolph, her manager, basically said, well, you know, the good thing out of this is that once this is all said and done, it'll be great for ticket revenue because when we launch Vegas next year, because everyone will be so happy to see her back on stage and stronger than ever. Just to show you where someone's mind is, I have conflicting feelings about this, and no one really knows the entire truth. No one spoke out. After this happened, they started the Free Britney hashtag, which now has been banned. So fans started a Free X Britney hashtag, which was also banned off of Twitter. So now it's Save Britney.
Right. Which has been banned not because Twitter was like, oh, we can't talk about this, but under legal duress.
Her team was like, nope. her team finally spoke out earlier this week, saying she was abusing medication and she was on the verge of death, and blah, 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 and this is all for her own good. My problem with this whole situation is this. First of all, a conservatorship should be regarding someone who cannot control their well-being from day to day. Not only that, since then, voicemails have surfaced from 2009, where she was calling to get out of it, seeking other legal direction, and she left a voicemail saying, "Hi, my father's been threatening the custody of my children. I really want to know and make sure that everything is going to be okay with me getting out of this conservatorship so I can get control again. Blah, 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 blah. I want to make sure that everything that we talked about before is actually going to be able to go through." She sounds completely sound-minded.
Right.
So that was disturbing as well. Also, you can't have it both ways. I'm sorry. Again, none of us know the truth.
Right.
But you're telling me someone, because she's tried to get out of this many times before, and has tried to hire lawyers to get out of it, only to be told by the judge overseeing all of this that she's unfit to hire a lawyer to get out of this, which leads people to believe that the judge is on this as well, which would explain the feeling of being entrapped.
Right.
Because what do you do if a judge is in on something? And again, this is all alleged, but really, what do you do if the judge is the highest power that you can get to.
Well, and also typically, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I think typically a judge usually oversees a particular case. Like, once they have a case, that is their case to oversee. It's not like you see a different judge every time, which makes sense because you have to bring everyone up to speed.
Yeah, it's familiarize everyone with
it would be such a waste of time.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to have the same person presiding over all the same legal issues because they know all
the ins and outs. Yeah.
Right. But then if that person is
corrupt as well,
corrupt,
then
yikes. Like, I was under the impression, and again, this is obviously just propaganda, or at least some of it is, that the conservatorship just worked. It was,
too.
It was a family thing, and everything was being handled, and what else?
Yeah, but another thing is, if someone isn't capable of hiring a lawyer, but they're capable of releasing, this is since her conservatorship has started. She's released 4 albums, gone on 3 world tours, released 7 perfumes, was a judge on X Factor, had a 4-year Vegas residency, 17 singles, and 19 music videos. But you're telling me someone's not competent enough to hire their own lawyer. Someone is still under a... I don't understand that.
It also just again, I'm not a lawyer, but it also just seems as though that is completely against someone's civil rights.
Absolutely.
I mean,
100%.
To suggest that you can't have your own legal representation. I mean, there are children who get lawyers to represent them against their parents in cases. Like, she's a grown woman with her own children. I think
that she raised very well.
I think someone would be...
the whole thing sounds very corrupt. And also,
where's Lynn in all this? Where's the mom?
Well, the mom is liking a lot of Free Britney posts and whatnot, and that's what really made people go, wait, what? Oh, yeah.
Because we haven't really been seeing a lot of her.
Or hearing from her, which who knows what kind of legal situation that teen has over everyone involved, to be quite honest with you.
True.
2007 was a weird year for everyone in that family.
Are they still together or are they separated?
No, they've been divorced.
Yeah, they've been divorced.
Yeah, but that's when people really started being like, wait, maybe this has some traction, because Lynn Spears was liking all these, get Britney her voice back, blah, 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 blah. And the fact that her team, the first thing you heard from them was that she was abusing medication and she was on the verge of death. That, to me, sounds like someone scrambling to make something that they've done wrong seem validated.
And it also doesn't, like, I'm not a detective, but it also, I'm an internet detective, you don't go to rehearsal on time and kill a rehearsal and post about it, because she does run on, Instagram and stuff. that we know of.
Yeah.
It's all robot. No, but I mean, you don't go to rehearsal and have a good rehearsal.
Yeah, and why would
you're,
you
like,
let someone who's
all-
close to death and abusing medication be around their children as much as she was as
Mhm.
well? Wouldn't that be a concern of yours? If this was someone who's abusing medication, why would you let them around her children
Right.
as much as she was? None of that makes any sense to me. And just that statement just seemed very tacky. Why would they not just say, if they wanted to blanket the whole thing and shut everyone up, why would they not just say, everything you've heard so far is not true. She's not being held against her will. We will address all this if she would like to, when she's out and she's better. Please respect her privacy.
Mm-hmm.
That would have shut me up.
Right.
But they went the opposite, trying to seemingly over-exaggerate what the situation was when she was videotaped being normal. And, of course, things happen behind closed doors, but it seemed like such an extreme to go to versus what a very well-trained A-list team would have put out. I would have expected what I just suggested to be put out.
Yeah. Rather
versus,
than like,
oh no, you don't get it. It was way worse than you guys thought. Like,
yeah, because then that's like immediately vilifying her.
Yeah.
And it's making it seem like she's completely out of control.
Yeah.
And all the stuff where. Did you see? Well, I know you've seen it because you're a Britney stan, but I hadn't seen this previously, and this was a few years ago that she did this interview because she looked, regular Britney.
Yeah.
But she was talking about her life, and she was basically saying it's like Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah, that was the point, and I will take this all the way back to then. That was 2008, I believe.
Oh, was it that long ago?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
That
thought it was
was-
more recent than that.
No, that was right after the breakdown. It was
Okay.
when she had her For the Record interview, and it was nothing was off limits. And I noticed.
Yeah, they stopped doing that.
Well, that's the thing.
She stopped doing
was
almost
fine,
any kind of interviews.
normal Britney,
Yeah.
bright-eyed, everything seemed like it was coming to a head and just being normal again. And that she was being extremely candid. And I always say it, after that interview aired, that documentary aired, and she expressed how sad she was, and that she just wanted to drive, and that was her thing, that they started upping her meds. Because first two videos from that era were Womanizer and Circus, and she seemed completely fine.
Yeah.
It was like, Britney's back, she looks amazing, she's moving awesomely.
Yeah.
Third video on that entire era was If You Seek Amy, and that was the first time I noticed, fuck, she looks dead in the eyes. This is so weird. And it was right after that aired.
And that's
That was
definitely...
the first thing since then that it came out, and then ever since then it was like dead in the eyes. Like, it was like something happened, there was some medication going on. Again, this is just me being observant, and I noticed that back in the day, and I've always said that.
People have certainly stated that, like when she was on X Factor, like there were some times where she seemed to be really into it and really there, and other times where
Yeah.
she had very little to contribute. But this interview, I guess it is almost 10 years old, but she is talking about, and she starts crying,
Yeah.
but she's talking about how basically every day is the same. It's, you get up, you perform, you do an interview, you do
She
this,
just said
you're in the studio, you're
Yeah,
it
they asked
is
her if
the
she
same
felt that
regimen.
her life was out of control. She said, no, I feel like it's too in control. She's like, there's no spontaneity, there's nothing there, there's no spark. It's just every day is Groundhog Day. And if that was 10 years ago, and this has been going on ever since then, and you've not even given someone a chance to heal, like her old manager, Larry Wright, who's a very, very huge manager in the pop world, he came out and said she wasn't ready to go back on tour. She wants to take a break after this breakdown, for at least a year or so. Does she want to work on music? Yes. She always does that in between,
Well, of
even
course.
in her home studio. That's like a thing. She's always dancing. She's always doing something. But she said she wasn't ready, and they pushed her back out there. And they kept pushing her back out there, and pushing her back out there. And it becomes one of those things where I think she genuinely loves what she does. I don't think she likes the promo and being around people. I think that clearly makes her anxious. But
You can tell, even when she did the promo for the Vegas thing. It was
yeah,
like,
it's like, oh, fuck.
firework, she, comes up from the stage, and she's like, hey.
Yeah.
She literally doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. I mean, Glory, was definitely more of a, that album I think was you saw and heard a little more of her.
Yeah, her. It was
She wrote more of it.
It just seemed
her
more
real voice.
Yeah, you actually heard her.
It's only for a few seconds.
Slathered with a shit ton of auto-tune, but no, it was just. I think he genuinely likes making music, genuinely likes performing, but everything else, and also when you love doing something, but then you're forced to do it.
Mm-hmm.
For people who, it's like you've had someone work for since she was 10 years old, and she's a 37-year-old woman, just for you to turn around and control her own money?
Mm-hmm. And that's, all. By the way, not all her, like, being in the Mickey Mouse Club and all her doing whatever, like, yeah, she had a contract at, like, 14 or 15 or whatever. But she also performed at county fairs when she was like 8 or 9.
And she was an off-Broadway at age 8 or 9. It's
like it wasn't just as though it was always this grand life. Like when you're performing in, like county fairs and stuff, like you're schlepping everything with you.
Yeah.
Like it's a one-man show basically. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, not everyone obviously, but at that young, you're getting there.
You're hopping out of the van.
You're hopping out of the van. You've got a backing track that they're putting on for you, and then you're singing. It's not like a adult band that's touring together or whatever. So she's definitely had even from the time she was very, 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 very little, been put through sort of the ringer with all this stuff. And I think you're right. Creating something or making something or working on art is very, very different than having to go on, do the late night circuit or do, photo shoots or do, all this stuff, which, I mean, I'm sure it sounds like, that doesn't sound like a problem, but it's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of mental pressure. It's a lot of physical pressure. It's like, and that's what pisses me off. It's like, these people they're not in rehearsals. They're not fucking recording this music. They're not fucking touring. They're not doing any of this. They're sitting in the background, orchestrating paperwork for their own pockets. Mm-hmm. Now, it could be, and I don't think anyone's even taken this step on it, it could be very much, Jamie is very ill. He is elderly at this point. Mm-hmm. It could very well be the lawyer and the manager kind of puppeteering him around as well and using him as a way to get ready to do things for their own benefit, and he's not understanding it.
Right.
I don't think anyone's gone that way. I think everyone's trying to umbrelling everything under one big situation. Mm-hmm. But here comes the inside tea that I got this week. That I can't really reveal names. And a bitch got served this week, so I really...
You were saying that, like, when you were getting this info, even, like, they, like, wanted to use a burner phone, basically, like, they didn't want to actually send you...
This is a close friend of mine, so this is when he said, can I call you? Yeah. I didn't want any of this even in my phone, and I can't screenshot any of where I'm getting this from. I said, oh shit, this must be serious. Okay.
By the way, that's how you don't get records, kids.
Exactly.
You actually speak to someone.
There you go.
One-on-one. As long as there's not a recording device, no one will ever know.
Exactly. So there was someone back in the day whose name I will leave unnamed. We'll talk about after the show, you and I. Who was very, I wouldn't say instrumental, but just there during the breakdown.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, was being accused of a lot of things that the team is being accused of right now. Drugging Britney and using her for money and threatening her children and the custody situation if she didn't do what they wanted to do. Again, I'm not going to say any names. You can do your research and put two and two together, most likely. And I'm not vilifying this person whatsoever, because who knows what anyone's motives are. Especially when there's that much money and that big of a fame situation. Who knows, but there are receipts that this person still has contacts to members of her family who are actually on her side, that he was kind of led down a false trail as to why he was doing this, that he was being given by her team, same team that's been accused of all this stuff today, the medication to give her, and to tell her certain things to make her take it, and to make her perform, and to make her do things that they wanted her to do. and these came with receipts and screenshots, and this person's basically like, good, I'm glad this is finally coming to light, because these are the things that I was being accused of back in the day when it was really the team going through it. Do I think this person is 100% innocent? I'm going to say no.
I would say, though, look up Larry Rudolph. He's a little shady.
Oh, yeah. Not only that, Lou Taylor, her lawyer, was a Britney Spears stan and stalker back in the day.
What?
Uh-huh. She was sending Britney letters to try to help her to the point where Britney was like, I don't want this woman near me. Oh, yes.
And now she's her...
Uh-huh. She's part of the whole situation.
Oh, my God. This is a fucking soap opera.
Uh-huh. And then
Shit.
the lawyer that was on the case for a long time, he left last fall after they redid the conservatorship to get her father and him more money. So he was making $35,000 a month, and according to the person that called into the show, he walked away from this after he realized exactly what was going on because he thought he could be disbarred if shit came to light.
Oh,
with the way that things were going on. So you're telling me that someone is being offered $35,000
a month.
a month, and it's more important to them to walk away from that situation because they think that whatever is going on behind the scenes is that unethical to the point that they could never work in law again? That something's going on.
Yeah, because usually lawyers are like, don't
Fuck
worry, we
it.
have confidentiality.
Yeah.
Wow.
Something is going on, something's not right. And like I said, I'm not going to just paint an umbrella over anyone and just say that it's her dad and this person. I think, honestly, due to her dad's condition and whatnot, that perhaps the team is puppeteering her father as well, and using him to puppeteer Britney because she'll listen to him.
Okay, so you got this information from someone, and then this in turn, did you post this somewhere?
I'm a member of a certain very popular entertainment blog, and I post there regularly, and I happen to post, hey, this person perhaps isn't the bad guy we thought they were. Again, not saying that this person's an angel, like absolutely not, but everything we've been led to believe about someone perhaps isn't all the truth, and which makes complete sense with the entire story that's going on now.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I got a bunch of backlash from a couple of different commenters, and I said, well, you know, I happen to know that this person is still in contact with her mom and a couple of other close family members to this day, and it's kind of been working behind the scenes with some very prominent actors and whatnot because his name has been ruined. 10 minutes later, here come the cease and desist.